Flosstube. My name is Mariam. My pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marumi Crafts from Instagram or Marumi Designs from Gumroad. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a channel about crafting, mainly cross stitch, sometimes diamond painting. Today I will be focusing on cross stitch. Totally, like everything from finishes to whips to future projects to haul, everything is related to cross stitch today. So I hope that you stick around, you enjoy. Please grab some refreshment. Usually my videos are long. I'm gonna try and keep it shorter than 1 hour. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. All right, so let's get going. So I'm gonna start with finishes. First thing that I want to share is my only fully finished object for this time around. However, I don't have it with me because it was a gift, so I finished it and just sent it away, and the person already received it, and so it's not in my possession, but I do have a photo of it, so I'm gonna insert the photo here. So as you can see, it's a black cat. That's a thread that connects a lot of my stitchy friends and me. Love of cats, especially black cats. So I do have a black cat. My cat's name is Asal. He's 1 year old. He's really mischievous. He's in a room hiding now, so fingers crossed there is no interruption. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, that was stitched on a small piece of 20 count Ada of white, and I used some sulky from my stash. Yeah, it was a really small project. It only took a couple of hours, so it was a SAF basically, start and finish. And I really enjoyed stitching it. I'm actually planning on stitching more of that and sending it to some of my friends who have black kitties, so we'll see. All right, so that was my only FFO. I know I had planned on fully finishing more projects, but that didn't happen. So all right, next is this pattern by Alicia Paulson. It's called Stitcher's RSVP. I stitched this for I'm Not Coming Sal. That was hosted by a few of stitchy friends on Instagram. Right, Crafty Yam, Yasmin Made with Love, Little by Piku, Charlie. So yeah, a few of us actually stitched this pattern. All right, I made some modification. The cat was a tabby cat, and I changed it to black cat because I do have a black cat. So every time there is a pattern that is like includes a cat of any color, I change it to black. So my cat is black. All right, say listen. I still want to be invited, but I'm not coming. And that's a true sentiment. If you invite me and I chicken out last minute, it's probably because I prefer to stay home and stitch and hang around my cat. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how I want to finish this one. We'll see. All right. Next is the 8th installment in Magical Carbon Menagerie. So this is a collection, my first collection of designs. So this is my own design. This is basically the model that I stitched. His name is Zippy Dog. So I figured because I have a cat in my collection, I should add a dog for dog lovers. So here's my dog, Zippy Dog. If you want to know more about him, the origin of design, dog patterns in Iranian carpet, and imagery. I have a dedicated video, like a Flosstube extra on my channel about this, so I suggest that you follow that. All right, and it's on 18 count Ada, hand dyed by Jessie from MislaidPages, and I do love this color. It's really summery, and I'm using Sulky 12 weight medium navy, I think. Yeah. Yep, zippy dog. The last installment is already designed, and I'm actually model stitching it now. Right. Next is Silicon Bird by PeruvianFlair. It's my own color conversion. I use sulky threads. I just looked at the image and just did my own thing, basically. These two, the yellow and this blue-green one, is blendable. The rest are solid. And fabric is 18 count Ada that I overdyed. This was like a thick tan color, so I overdyed it using red dye. Right. And that's it with finishes. All right. Next, we're gonna talk about some whips. Right. So, first one, I don't have the cover image for it. It's Modern Fork Embroidery Fruit of Plenty SAL, which was the 2021 SAL, like last year. And stitching this for a SAL that was started this year. It's still fresh fruit SAL, so we're stitching it like month by month, but I'm actually 1 month behind. So last time that I shared this with you, which the image, like, I will insert the photo here. Yeah, so last time I just started the June. Now June is completed, so I'm halfway done. And this is on 20 count charcoal in the charcoal, and I'm using 2 different sulkies. So I know the red one is Red Christmas, and the Christmas red, not Red Christmas, Christmas red, and then this one I don't remember. So the other one is the blendable, right? I really enjoy this. I'm hoping to finish this year, but we'll see. All right, next is another Modern Fork Embroidery. Yeah, so the next one is Spirits of the Dead by Modern Fork Embroidery. I really love this one. So last time, I insert the photo here. Last time when I shared this with you, I just started it and I had 2 lines. So now I have a little more, not that much, but just a bit more. Yep. So this is page 1. I finished like that border, and then I started on the boss. And this is 18 count fabric flare in Christmas red damask, and I'm using sulky blendable in parchment, which is this white, off-white cream color. Yeah. Right. one is my only full coverage. All right. This is Flavor of Autumn by Maria Eskuznitsa or Marie Weaver. It's assortment of pickles. So my goal was to finish first page. And I have done that. So that's how big it will be, and this is where I am. And I'm stitching it 2/1 on 20 count Aida. This is like off-white Aida, and I'm using call for threads, which are DMC shades, but this is not DMC thread. It came in a kit. All right. This is not going to be my focus for this month, so I'm probably going to revisit it later. All right. Next is a start that I had this month. It's Tom's Foolery by Hands Across the Sea. It's a reproduction. I am stitching it on 20 count Aida in blue cashmere or cashmere blue, I think. And I'm on page 1. I just started it. So here's the border. I started on a couple of motifs, and the needle that I'm using is from Abby from TopknotStitcher. It's a long neck Alice. I found it to be fitting because this is like a pattern full of really odd motifs, so long neck Alice fits. All right. I'm really enjoying this one. It has a lot of colors, and I'm using my own Saki conversion. It's not a complete like match for the called for, so it's a little richer. Next is actually what I'm working on now. Is King Kapal by JavaStitcher, Era from JavaStitcher. It's Indonesian. It's a form of like Indonesian shipcloth. It's a really traditional kind of pattern, and this is part of a SAL that was started by Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery, and I'm gonna insert where I was before here. Right. Okay, and here's where I am now. So as you can see, I finished the ship, and I'm working my way through this border. This is one of my WIP goals this month. My goal is to work 6 days on it. I've already worked 4 days, so I have 2 more days. I don't know. I'm gonna try to actually finish it. I know this is a part of a SAL and it should go for a whole year, but to be honest, I am now part of so many SALs. So I do need to, I'm in a mood to like finish a few. All right. So in a way, that's the end of my WIPs. However, there is another WIP I'm working on now. You remember I mentioned that I am actually model stitching my last installment in Magical Carpet Menagerie, and I do have it here. So I'm gonna give you a tiny sneak peek of the back, just the back, Ready? Ta-da! So yeah, I'm working on the border. So I'm using sulky 12 weight in soft blacks, which is like mainly like different shades of gray, from really light gray to dark gray. I'm loving the effect of that on the red, reddish, orangey reddish fabric that I chose. This is a fabric that I dyed using red dye, so yeah, it's 18 count, by the way, just similar to almost all of my projects. All right, so this is the end of my webs. Now I can talk about a couple of plans, and then afterward we can, you know, talk about hauls. All right. First plan. Okay. First plan is actually my most recent plan. The pattern came out, actually it's on Saturday, today, that I'm filming. Is by Dee and Kari from D20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari, and it's a fantastic pattern. It's a small pattern. I don't have a cover photo here. I usually print out the color. We use the color printer at work, so I haven't printed out yet. I'm gonna insert the photo here. Yeah, it's called Sailor's Delight. It's a trans merman, basically, and I really, it's super delightful to me. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, this needs to be a SAL. Like, seriously. So I started one. It's called #DelightfulSAL. So you're welcome to join. Please join using the hashtag on Instagram. Please make sure you use it, because I like to see everyone's progress. I am actually kitted up, so I'm using 18 count Ada, like picture this plus Ada in jazz. I don't know if it's, so it looks a little washed out here. It's actually the blue is a little more vibrant, same as for the purple. Okay, and instead of going with my like usual route of color converting everything to sulky, which will give me something really close to the like a call for in terms of like color palette, this time I decided to actually go by a few flosses that was like gifted to me by Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery, and that one day that we actually met in person. So I'm gonna try to have it all with the fabric so you can see the effect. Yeah. Yeah. Right? So this pattern only calls for 3 colors, so it's really easy to do. So my colors are DMC 3838, this one is DMC 807 or tealy, this one is DMC 3687, which is pink. So yeah, I have these 3, I have my fabric, and I'm gonna really start it really soon. Okay, so next we have a surprise. This is my next plan. It's Bella Filipina Lakapati. I doubt I'm actually pronouncing it correctly, but look at her. I know, fancy lady. That's not me, right? But Look at her. She looks gorgeous. And she's a person of color, which is a bonus. And that's one of the reasons why I actually thought of starting one. All right, and another surprise. Look, call for thread. Who am I? I don't know. I mean, this is like seriously not me. I don't do this. I don't do this usually. I don't do this like hardly ever. So yeah, this is like all I use all called for. These are DMC, and these are the silk. Yeah, let me show you the silk up close. Yeah, I decided to I tried actually to color match and convert this to sulky, but especially in the skin tone it looked really odd. I don't have exact match or actually even close of a tone, and that's one of the things that sulky is lacking. It doesn't have a good range of skin tone colors. Yes, of course, if you are looking for really lighter skin tones, you're probably going to be able to color match it and find something that works. But if you're looking for anything like darker, you have to either go super dark and go with really dark colors, or you have to go for like really warm tones like orange and reds, which no. just no. So these are the silks. I've never stitched with silk, and these are super soft. So these are water lilies. This one is sunflower seed, so it has like yellows and greens, and this one is in Java, has browns, grays, purple. It's really beautiful. And I'm actually keeping them in a small plastic bag that I had. I'm just attaching that to my floss ring. And these are all made of like cardstock that I had. This is like too flimsy though. I don't know how to strengthen it. I may have to actually change this to like a better cardstock, but yeah, this is like flimsy for now. I'm afraid I'm gonna damage it pretty soon, but yeah, it's a start. And the colors are so warm and beautiful. And so another thing that is like unusual about this pattern, one of the reasons why I never do fancy like this, is because they're usually like beaded, and I don't do beading. Beading is not for me. I don't like it. Not for me. Thank you very much. So instead, let me show you. Instead of beading, this is what I'm gonna use. I'm actually gonna stitch using these petite treasure braid in different shades. I tried to color match the beads to, you know, white, you know, metallic threads, and see. So this is like a by photos. I haven't seen the beads actually in real life, so by photos I came up with this. So I'm going to just stitch that on 18 count Aida and use like 2/1 and use petite treasure braid. It also calls for Kari Nakken, so I have these two, but look how damaged this is. So I shared on my Instagram what happened, so I'm going to insert the photo here. USPS like destroyed the package. Thank goodness 123Stitch actually bagged every single item, like they were in separate small bags, and the bag was damaged, like on every single like bag that was in the packet were damaged, but the actual thread is good to go. Even this one with all the damage, you can see like a little bit of it is, I think maybe some of it will be damaged, but majority of it will be usable. So I mean, I doubt I need more than this. I have stitched with Petite Treasure braids before, but it will be the first time I'm actually stitching with these, so I don't know. Someone suggested that I need to use thread conditioner, so I'm ordering. I actually ordered Thread Magic. Is it what? I think it's called Thread Magic. So I'm going to use that on both my Petite Treasure braids and on my Kari Nakken, and see if that helps. And apparently I have to use like a smaller cuts of thread, so we'll see we'll see how it goes. All right, and for that I actually needed to find like a good fabric, and a Mystic fabric, and by the way we are entering the haul portion. Mystic fabric had like a secret sale, so they were having, I think it was 15% off or 20% off. I'm not completely sure because you were just adding it. I'm not good with math, so you just add it to the basket and it will just take out that percentage. And I went bananas and I bought four pieces of fabrics, and two of them might be a match for that project, my fancy lady. And by the way, I did not share this, so we are actually starting a SAL for that one as well. So we're doing a SAL for Bella Filipina patterns. It can be any pattern. I mean, I'll be happy if I see more representation. So if you stitch one of the ladies that are like people of color, it will be, I don't know, better. But you're welcome to use any of your patterns. It can be New Start, and we have not discussed this if it's okay that it's a web, but I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, we're working on Bella Filipinas, and the hashtag, I'm gonna share the hashtag here. I don't exactly remember the order of like what exactly we agreed on, and when I say us, there are a few of us that we are like working on setting this up. So I'm sure the others will be like sharing their participation soon. So you're gonna see that hashtag like popping up. So I'm gonna just add the hashtag here. All right. And here's the fabric that I bought. So the first one that I'm going to share is the one that I think is a good match, but I have some hesitation, so and you see why. So this is the fabric. It's a fat quarter, 18 count, in Night Sky Jennifer, or Yennefer, maybe. And it's opalescent. That's my hesitation, because I'm using a lot of Petite Treasure braid as is, and a lot of like metallic like threads on the project. So to add more sparkle, because this is like super sparkly. Color is the best match, but it's super sparkly, so that's the only hesitation I have. I'm hoping to find something that is actually a better match, so I don't have to use this for this project. The other option that I have that might be a good match is Mother Nature. So this is another Mystic fabric. Let me show you. So this is lighter, like much lighter. It actually comes across as like lighter than it is in the real life, but still it's light. So there are a lot of greens and light greens and creams and beige and light brown in it. It's beautiful, but still not 100% sure. I'll see. Either I mean I might choose one of these two, or I'll see. To be honest, I was hoping that Jessie from MislaidPages will have something in their new release of fabric, but so I'm a Patreon member of theirs, and their secret shop was open this past Friday to like a couple days ago to Patreon members for this new batch, and it's a small batch this time around, and there are no 18 count or 20 count in it, but the color, it will work. So I'm sort of like, ooh, I wish. So they're coming up with a new batch pretty soon, and they said that they're going to be 18 count and 20 count in that one. So I'm gonna like get on that site on the dot on the day of, whenever it is, to see if there is anything that's match, because their fabrics with all the colors, my lady will look super cool on it. So fingers crossed. So I'm going to share the other two Mystic fabric that I have. This one is another 18 count in Wisteria. Again, it's coming across lighter, so it's a little darker than this, like more saturated than this. It's more purpley, and I love this. This is a fabric that you can basically easily stitch anything spooky on it, and it will turn spooky, or like anything fall related, or you can go spring route. This is like a fantastic color for spring. Now that I'm thinking about it, even winter, this is a good match for winter too, like icy scenes. Yeah. And the other fabric, this one, like after that opal fabric, this is my favorite fabric that I bought from Mystic Fabric, and it's actually much softer than the other three, so I don't know what the difference is, but it's dark sugar plum, another fat quarter. Look at that. So in real life, this is more, oh yeah, this is more true to the color. If I go back, yeah, it's more warm. So this is closer to how it is actually in real life. Super pretty. Just love it. I have to find a good project to stitch on this. Like seriously, I love this. Okay. Then I place an order with Abby from TopknotStitcher for 2 pieces of color and cotton. One is 20 count in nutmeg. It's come across as really washed out. Let me see. Yeah, this is more true to color. And This one is periwinkle, 18 count. It's showing as more gray. This is not gray. This is, let me see if I can get it to show the actual color. Nope. Nope. I don't know why it's not showing. But anyway, it's more purpley. And I love it. I love that. And then I placed an order. I was like placing an order to get fabric for Tom's Foolery. So I got that 20 count cashmere blue. And also I got a piece of a famous country vintage, like vintage country mocha that everyone stitch on. All the samplers are stitched on this. So it has these modeling, and it's like printed, because this side is, there is no modeling on this side. This side there is. So it's not really hand dyed, it's like hand dyed effect. This is like a print. So it's a little stiffer, but yeah. All right. So yeah, because we cannot have fabrics travel alone, I picked up a pattern. I could not resist. This is a willow tree, right? From Carriage House Sampling. So this is by Katy Barrick, the willow tree sampler. So I love that. I already made my working copy, so this will be saved and just put aside, and when time comes I'm going to stitch off this. Then also from Abby on a separate order, this was actually a pre-order. I got my Halloween, the Cross-Stitch magazine, just Cross-Stitch magazine, the Halloween edition. And this time around there are tons of patterns that I'd like to stitch. So I was thinking, because I don't have enough SALs, or as it is already, maybe I need a SAL. Maybe in the month of October I only work on smalls, Halloween related smalls. So spooky small SAL, or small spooky SAL, right? Spooky small SAL, right? So spooky smalls coming this October, as if I don't have enough SALs to go around. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna stitch tons of like small projects during the month of October. And then from StitchyPrincess Black, I bought the Sum Over sampler. The photo is not a good photo, so it doesn't really, you can't see it. Let me take it out, maybe you can see it better that way. Nope, it's not. Yeah, maybe. So this is a Sum Over, this is a Sum Over, this is another one, and there are like some desserts and stuff. Okay, this is like a tea time kind of like sampler. And Sum Over is or as we call it in Farsi, samovar. It's a vessel that you actually brew tea with. So it's a really traditional Russian thing, Eastern European thing, but it's actually really popular in Iran as well. And it reminds me of my grandma. So my grandma only drank tea that was made in these, and she had one going all the time, all day and all night. She had like tea ready to drink. So yeah, I'm stitching that. I'm gonna stitch that in her memory. And speaking of stitching stuff in people's memory, this is another another pattern that I bought for that. So this is from PegasusSigns. It's daffodils. So this is supposed to be a bookmark, but I'm not gonna stitch it that way. I'm gonna just stitch the daffodil individually, and I'm planning on stitching it as like a small either coasters or I don't know how small it will turn out. I actually have to count it. I think if I can fit it in one of those like keychains, I'm gonna do that. Daffodil reminds me of my grandpa who passed away last year, and his garden was full of daffodils during springtime. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm planning on actually stitching one for myself, and then why stop there? So I bought a bunch of keychains, and I'm planning on making a bunch of these and gifting them to my family members to remember my grandpa with. Yeah. So that's another project that's coming. And then I bought from OwlForest Embroidery. I saw this. This is a sea buckthorn summer sampler. So these little fruits remind me of my mom, and she loves sea buckthorns, and these are really common in the city that she was born and the city that I was born, and so this is like a thing that connects us. So a lot of summers it reminds me of long strolls at night, summer nights, and in the neighborhood. And a lot of like neighbors have these trees in their yards, and also you can find these lining the streets like in the city, so you can really like pick yours and eat it there fresh off tree. So yeah, it reminds me of my childhood. So I'm gonna actually, I was planning on stitching this in August because August is my mom's birthday month, but with everything that's going on and like 1,000,001 project that I have going on now, there's just absolutely no way. So instead I'm gonna like sometime this year work on this and finish it hopefully for her. Right. And then lastly, I purchased a couple of, 4 books, and I got one extra for free from ThriftBooks. So I love checking that website. They usually have good deals on older cross-stitch books, and to be honest, because I'm new to cross-stitch, so a lot of those older books are new to me because I never seen them, never worked on them, never knew the designer at all. So also it's a study in what was popular at the time. A lot of the books that I'm going to show you today are from late 90s, and one is from 2001 if I'm not mistaken. First one is Oriental cross stitch. By the way, I hate using the term Oriental. Don't use it. It's such an old word. Yeah. I was really curious because this is like I was curious to see what was considered as Oriental, like Eastern pattern at the time. And I'm really curious to, I'm basically just digging around in a lot of books and patterns that I find to see, seeking representation basically. From old days, how people of color were represented in cross-stitch basically. And this is by Leslie Tier. Let me show you a few of the designs that I marked. This is one. Cute, right? And because these are really old books, I'm not really that concerned about like buying something that is not really good in terms of representation, and having that benefit some like the author from decades ago, because this is like not only is really old but also is secondhand. So there's another one. These actually all three, because I love these like white and blue, like these blue chinas, and I love these patterns. I have one more. Look at that. So cute. So can you imagine, instead of like this cream fabric, you can stitch it on maybe light blue, mottled blue, that looks like lake or river, right? Looks good. Then next book, another Oriental, but this one is by Joan Elliott. Yeah. So just to tell you how different this one is from the other. So this one includes like some introduction to Japanese art, history of art in Japan, different mediums, from some information on fabric art, like some examples of different like embellishment on written art, clothing, paintings, just to explain the source of inspiration. And then she has for ladies, I mean, she called them Oriental ladies, but I'm not going to call them Oriental ladies. These are ladies. So, like, this is like a full coverage. It's like a pretty lady. But the one that I actually really like, or a couple of patterns that I actually want to stitch. One is this one, kimonos. It's just the kimono. And the second one is this one. It's the same one that is on the cover. And this has a story, like why I like this one. So it reminds me of a cartoon that I was like, I used to watch when I was a little girl, on Iranian TV. And it was of this little boy who was, who finds out he's an orphan, or he thinks he's an orphan, and then he realizes that his mother is actually it's like a moon fairy or moon goddess. I think moon goddess is the best way to describe what she was. So she's not really human. She has superpowers, and she looked like her look was, to my mind, it was something different. Really different. So she was depicted with such a long, luscious black hair, and she was glowing. Every time she appeared, she was glowing, and always you see her face framed with the moon in the background, like full moon in the background. So I saw this and I was reminded of that. And then her hair and her dress reminded me of her. So her dresses though were more like in blue silvery colors. So if I just ever decide to stitch this, I will color change majority of it to blues and grays and silvers, and then change this to full moon in the background. All right. Then I picked up Native American cross stitch. This is from Julie Hessler. This has some intro information. Each pattern usually has the name of the tribe and the importance of actual pattern, like what it represents, the symbols and all of that there. This one is on ceremonial dance. So this is the pattern. These are all the information that is comes with it. Still, a lot of the patterns that are included here are really stereotypical, but there were a few that I actually liked. This is one of them. The eagle. It's beautiful. And this one from Native Americans in New Mexico. That's their pottery. And lastly, sand painting. It's not really visible here. I mean, since this is like super old book, I'm gonna just show you the pattern. Yep. Look at this. Chubby horse. I like this one too. Yeah. And then I got Cross Stitch Fairies. It has like each like design is by a different designer. I got this for this one. Birthday fairies. So it has like a collection of 12 fairies. These are small stitches. I'm planning on stitching some for some of my nieces and nephews. But then I saw this. Look at her. Do you notice something interesting here? Yeah, she's not a twig. she's not super skinny. Usually when fairies are depicted, they are super petite and tiny and thin, but she has some muscles, right? Yeah, so I like that. That one is September fairy, by the way. And then this one, which is like the cover one, I thought this is a good one to practice changing skin tone. She's super white, super white. So I'm planning on using like playing with Sulky and see if I can give her a darker skin tone. And then because I placed that order with those, like for those 4 books, they actually offered me a free book. And I picked this one. It's 1 hour cross stitch. These are all super tiny patterns. Like super tiny. Let me show you a few examples. Mark that, should I some? So look at this. Cute. So these are super tiny. I'm planning on actually stitching these as magnets. So look at this rooster. And I'll show you one more. This pineapple. Alright. Then from Amazon, I bought these to use my floss drop, to make my floss drops. And also, I bought a pack of needle threader. I usually use those that has like the loop in it, but I saw this and I thought maybe they work better, so I'm just, this is like the one that has the hook, like a tiny hook. So I just want to try and see if that works better. Right. I have one more actually purchase that I forgot to share last time, but I want to make sure that I share it here, because if you're interested, you still have time to get it. So February bird box is a box that MislaidPages Jessie came up with, and it's a box with 3 patterns, designed by Dee and I think Michelle Garrett from Bendy Stitchy, and Jessie themselves. So 3 pattern, you get 3 patterns, you get fabric. There's still boxes available for 16 count, 32 count linen, and 32 count Lugana. So if you're interested, also box comes with this, I think, silk as well for each pattern. So this is like a pre-order, so you pay for it now, and then you should expect it to arrive, like they're gonna ship them out early January. So hopefully by the end of January, everyone got their boxes ready to go for February. So February. I can never say that quickly, never. So yeah, it's all around birds, which are small birds, and it will be a nice event, and everyone can like stitch them together during the month of February. And yeah, so if you're interested, I got mine quickly because I really wanted the 18 count, and they had some 18 count at the beginning and they're all gone. So I got mine earlier on, the day of release, for Patreon actually. So, but they were still available, and Jessie just announced today that they will be available until August 19th, if I'm not mistaken. So you still have time. So if you're interested, please go there and get your box before they're all gone, because after that they have to close it so they can, you know, finalize the number of boxes and all of that, and get ready for the finalizing what's in it and shipping out, hopefully, right? So that's it. That, like, now is truly, this is it. By the way, this is the second time I'm actually recording this. If this doesn't go well, I don't know. I might just quit. Who knows? Because it's like, it was a lot. I recorded the whole thing, and then I started editing, and then halfway through I realized that the background noise, my family member was like on the phone so loud, and like the second half of the video was ruined. I could not use it. The only way I could use that was if I basically dubbed it, if I voiced over it, and I don't want to do that. I hate that. It's annoying to me. So I just re-recorded it at night. That's why we don't have natural light. We usually have natural light. I usually sit in front of 3 large windows, and I usually have natural light. But this time I'm actually recording really late at night. So yeah, hopefully it goes well. Fingers crossed. I'm not gonna record this again. All right. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around for my rambles and nonsense, late night nonsense nonetheless. So take care of yourself. I hope that you have fantastic stitchy time, and if you're not in the mood to stitch, I hope you have the best time you can have, and give yourself some leeway and be kind to yourself. So if it's not your stitchy time, if you're not in the mood, it's okay. If you're in a mood and you want to stitch all the things, that's okay too. So like and subscribe. Take care of yourself. See you later. Bye.